So good morning, everyone, and welcome in today's mindfulness session, Sunday's mindfulness session of 12th September. So those who have just joined us, MindVantage is an organization or is a group of people, happy people, and we intend to spread the message of happiness and mindfulness across. The idea is to touch 10,000 lives by March 2022, and we have done a very humble beginning to that in order to reach that destinations. Just to let you know that every morning we have daily mindfulness session from 8:30 to 8:50, and we have a Sunday session from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And every Thursday we have this evening session from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. So this is the routine of MindVantage, and we have a group of around 80 individuals who have come together in building this group very strongly. Sanjay, good morning.
Morning.
So we start the session with a moment of gratitude. So request everyone to bring their hands near their heart and express their gratitude to anyone and everyone they're grateful for in this universe, including Mother Universe, in silence. Thank you. We would now relax ourselves before we start the session, followed by a short breathing practice. So request everyone to mute their audios. Okay, yeah. The hands, if possible, put it in a receiving stretcher on your legs. Lengthen your spine. Drop your shoulders. Relax. You may bring a soft smile on your face. Ask yourself to relax. And as you ask yourself to relax, naturally you feel the calmness within and outside your body. Take 2 deep breaths, with the exhalation being a little longer. Wonderful. And as you're feeling relaxed, naturally, the relaxation flows from your head to your toe. Relax the top of your head. Relax your face. Relax your forehead, the top of the eyebrows, your cheeks, your jaws, your temples. If there is any part of your face which is experiencing stress or tightness, relax it. Be aware, relax it. Drop your shoulders. Let the relaxation flow to your chest and to your hands, to your fingers. You may wiggle your fingers a bit. Wonderful. Feel the calmness inside yourself. Let the relaxation flow to your stomach and to your abdomen. Be aware of any tightness or tension in this part of your body and relax it. Relax your hips, your thighs. Wonderful. Let the relaxation flow to your knees. That's right. Relax your calf muscles and ankles. Once again, wiggle your toes a bit and feel the relaxation. Take another deep breath with the exhalation being a little longer. And relax yourself. And as you feel relaxed, open your eyes. Om Shanti. We'll now we'll do a very short practice of breathing. We'll start with it. Request you to close your eyes, or you can keep it open as you are comfortable with. And focus on your breath. Focus at the base of your nostrils. If any thoughts come, accept them as they are and focus back on your breath. If it is deep, let it be deep. If it's shallow, let it be shallow. Just focus on your breath. Wonderful. Focus on your breath. Have gratitude for your breath, for it is your daily companion. It is the companion which has been with you since your birth. Your journey has started with a breathe in, and our journey would be ending with a breathe out. Have immense gratitude. Say thank you to your breath. Focus on 5 breaths from now. And whenever you are feeling comfortable, please open your eyes. Thank you. Om Shanti. So thank you very much. And this gives me an opportunity to welcome Mr. Sathya Narayan Iyer. Sathya has been my dear friend, my mentor as far as mindfulness is concerned. My gratitude to you, Sathya, for introducing me to mindfulness and touching and helping me touch the lives of so many other friends of mine. I'm happy to share with you, Sathya, that Mindvantage has been continuing its journey for the last more than 60 days. And in this journey, we have some very valuable contributors who are a part of Mindvantage's daily practice, a part with their, they play a very, very key role by guiding me, by advising me, and by sharing with me what else can be done in this practice of mindfulness. So with that, Sathya, it's over to you. And friends, Sathya is one of the very few level 2 unified mindfulness coach in India. He has been practicing mindfulness for a long time. And not only that, apart from spreading the views and his views and the practice of mindfulness to a lot of people, he also does master classes. He mentors individuals, and I would request you to be a part of this session with eagerness, with absolute focus, and whenever you have questions, please feel free to ask Sathya. And Sathya, you please also share maybe the post the session, the details of the master class, which you do, and regularly you mentor people. So over to you, Sathya, and welcome once again.
Thank you so much, Partho. And good morning once again to all Mindvantage members.
Good morning.
It's lovely to be here with all of you. I think the last we met was in May, and I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces. I'm seeing Shambhuji is here, Shuvajit, of course. Yeah, so a lot of familiar faces here. So yes, once again, my name is Sathya Narayan Iyer, and I'm really happy to be here with all of you. So I want to continue with the beautiful gratitude exercise and breathing exercise that Partho took us through. And he said something very beautiful. He said a life starts with a breathe in, and we leave the world with a breathe out. So I just want to add to that. Life is what happens in between this breathing in and breathing out. So let's mindfully make the most of whatever is happening in this space. So what I have for us lined up today is a basic yet very powerful practice on mindfulness. Now, this is a signature technique of unified mindfulness. It's called as see, hear, feel. And what we will be doing in this particular technique is we'll be focusing on our sensory experiences, right? So when we talk about mindfulness, it's essentially in terms of how we relate to all our sense categories, how we take in information through our senses. Could be the visual sense category, it could be auditory sense category, or it could be the body itself, the somatic space. So how we take in information and how we relate through these sensory experiences is what this practice is going to be all about. So we will start with the visual space, then move on to the auditory space, where we experience both external, what's happening around us, and also the chatter space, the mental chatter, what's happening within. And then finally, we move to the somatic space, the body space, where again, we start with the physical sensations and then move on to experiencing and noting our emotions. In doing all of this, whenever we experience what is happening in those sense categories, we just observe. Our role is that of noticing, observing, and holding back the urge to really respond or react to whatever is happening there. And that's a muscle that we are going to really focus on building. So a lot of times it may happen. Let's take an example of, there's some traffic movement that you hear, streets below. Yeah, the mind would start its commentary. Oh, it's a Sunday morning and still people are so much of traffic today. Just notice that chatter coming. That's a commentary. We are used to that commentary. Just noticing it. Not getting caught up in it, not trying to push it down, not trying to add to it, but just noticing that this chatter coming up. Or perhaps when we are focusing on the body space, there could be some irritation that comes in. We've been seated for a long time, and there's a need to just move around a bit. Just noticing that. Not trying to push it down. No, I'm sitting in a mindfulness class. How can I be irritated? Yeah. Just noticing that, whatever is happening there. So that's the instruction before the guidance. And any questions before we step in?
Sathya, may I?
Please go ahead, Shwajit.
When you say just noticing that, how do you define noticing?
So what does noticing mean to you, Shwajit? Shwajit? Okay, fine. So so noticing or observing here simply means playing the role of an observer. So whatever is happening, right, you resist the urge to step into it. It's like watching something on TV, right? Your role is just observing. You're not getting into the game, right? You're not even having a commentary about it. Just notice whatever is happening. The observation is what we are talking about here. There will be an urge to get into what seems to be the game, or there will be an urge to give your commentary on what's happening. It's a pattern, it's a habitual pattern that we have for years and years. The moment that happens, just taking a step back. So in simple words, if I could give an analogy, Shubhajit, it's like being on the platform but not boarding the train, just noticing the train coming and going by. And every time there's an urge to step in, just stepping back again, right? And don't worry, and this is what we will be doing as a part of the guidance, and the instructions will follow on that too. Okay, I trust this answers your query, Shubhajit. Any other questions, or we get into the guidance? Okay.
Thank you, Sathya, for your answer.
Most welcome, Shubhajit. So starting the guidance, and let's get into a comfortable posture. This will be a closed eye practice. So it will help close your eyes. Stretch up, starting from the base of your spine, going all the way up. In a sense, you're creating space in the body. Drop your shoulders, very gently and deliberately relaxing them. Relax the muscles around your eyes. Relaxing muscles around the jaw. Slacken the tongue. As we start by bringing our attention to the visual space, we're going to focus on what is called the mental screen. For a lot of us, this is the space which is just in front of or behind our closed eyes. And as you bring all your attention to this space, just noticing whatever is coming up on your mental screens. Perhaps there are images. Perhaps it is a blank screen. It's all good. Perhaps it's in color, or maybe in grayscale. That's equally good too. Just noticing without any reaction to what you notice. If the mind wanders, and it will, very gently bringing it back to the visual space. And you may use the support of a label here and say, see. See. Either images or a blank screen. Just noticing what's happening in that space for you today. Gently letting go of that. Let's bring our attention to the auditory space. And we're going to start by listening to the sounds in our environment around us. What sounds are you picking up? Maybe it's the vehicular traffic. Maybe the sound of birds chirping around. Or perhaps the sound of people having conversations in a distant room. Just noticing, doing your best not to get caught up in the content of what you notice. Perhaps there is silence in your environment today. And noticing that as well. If the mind wanders, doing your best to bring your attention back to this space, using the label here. Here. Now let's turn our attention inward and let's focus on the mental talk space. For a lot of us, this could be the space in between our ears, or it could be anywhere around the head. And as you tune into the mental talk space, become aware of any chatter that's going on here. At times, it could be a commentary of what's going on. Or maybe there could be a question of, am I doing this right? Or maybe there is silence today as you tune into your mental talk space. It's all good. Noticing the mental chatter as it rises, noticing its origin, maybe it's clear, maybe it's feeble, just noticing that. If the attention gets pulled or distracted, very gently bring it back to noticing the mental chatter or silence. And the label is here. Here. Gently letting go of that. Let's bring our attention to the body space. We're going to start by noticing the physical sensations. This could mean noticing your feet touching the floor, or perhaps noticing your palms as they are resting by your sides or on your thighs. Maybe they are placed on top of the other. Noticing that. Physical sensations could also mean noticing the temperature on your skin. Maybe it's warm, maybe it's colder. Or noticing the sensation of your clothes on your skin. Doing your best to notice as many experiences or even any one that calls out to you. Feel. Feel. Maybe noticing the intensity or weight on the chair or sofa that you're seated on. Feel. Anytime you notice your attention wandering, just noticing that and gently bringing it back to where it was. Feel. Now let's direct the attention inward and notice our emotional landscape. Turning within and noticing whatever emotions are coming up for us. Maybe pleasant ones, or maybe there is something unpleasant within today. Or perhaps there's a peaceful absence of any emotions. Either way is good. As you notice any emotion coming up, doing your best not to get caught up in the emotions. Rather very curiously noticing, where is the emotion located for me in the body? Is it only in one place? Does it spontaneously appear in many? Or does it seem to move from one place to the other? Anytime you find yourself getting caught up in the emotions or a commentary on the emotions, using that as an opportunity to step back and observe. Feel. 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 Excellent work being done by all of you. In a few moments from now, we are going to let go of this practice and return back to our conversation. And as we do that, slowly and gently open your eyes, allowing some light to enter your eyes. As you bring yourself back into this conversation, doing whatever it takes to make yourself feel comfortable once again. Welcome back. And stretch, move, sip water, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Wonderful. I normally prefer to take a sip of water, and that's recommended as well. So if you have water handy, please do that. Wonderful. So would be eager to hear from some of you on your reports of what happened. What did you experience? And what was it like for you? Okay, Shivajit, if you raised your hand, you may start.
First of all, let me describe this session as awesome and describe Sathya as stupendous. His presence, his words seems to be, coming from a divine world and embracing us in a manner where we all get deep into it. And thanks, Sathya, that as a mentor, you offered us a mentee like Partho, who replicates all your practices so well, adding his own flavor, which makes every morning so beautiful for us. So after the Thanksgiving, one observation and one query. The observation which I had is, towards the end, before Sathya winded up the practice, he gave us a notice that a few seconds from now, we would be getting back to a conversation mode as we were earlier. So is that breaking the trance, Sathya? I mean, this is partly a query, but more of an observation.
Sure. Did it break a trance for you?
Almost to be truthful.
So, interesting observation, Shivajit. So, for me, it comes naturally into a guidance. It somewhere marks the closure as we get into the closing moments of guidance, and it prepares me to realize that, okay, fine. While the formal practice of what I'm doing, of consciously moving my attention from one place to the other, that can come to a close, but my experience and me being in touch with whatever has happened, that can continue. So it just signals the close of a formal practice, if I may say. And while you may still experience the calmness that some of you may have experienced during the session, so that does not stop. The formal moving from one sense experience to the other, that's what we are saying, okay, that comes to an end.
Okay, one question. This is specific to the last phase of the session, where we moved from see to hear to feel, and then from feel out to feel in. So when you took us to the feel in process, what you did to us, is that what Partho describes as dissociating oneself and observing oneself from a distance, which I had phrased as Shivajit 2.0, looking at Shivajit 1.0 from a distance and seeing as to how he's acting or reacting or feeling at that point of time. Is it similar?
So mindfulness is all about observing yourself. And I like the way Partho would put it, dissociate and observing yourself from a higher ground, or just taking a balcony view of yourself. That's what being mindful is all about. Why is that mindfulness? If I could just build on that a bit more, right? The moment I'm caught up in something, my habitual patterns would continue. If there is a trigger, I react. There's anger, there's irritation, I react. The moment I, kind of dissociate, I take a balcony view of what's happening there. I have a choice. I need not probably give in to my anger the way I have been doing it for years. I need not react in the same way that life has been occurring to me. In that moment, when I'm distancing myself, is when I'm creating a choice of behavior. And that's what it means to be mindful in every situation. If I still continue my old patterns, old triggers, it's not being mindful. I'm still caught up in this. Can I move to observing? And yeah, I like it, whatever you may want to call it, 3.0 or a balcony view or a distance. Yeah, whatever helps you in creating that ability to observe yourself in the moment. And that's what being mindful is all about.
Thank you, Sathya. Wonderful.
Thank you, Shubhajit, for that query. Shamu, we come to you. Good to see you, like I said.
Sir, it was a very nice experience. I was feeling totally calm and concentrated. But while doing this activity, some distraction was coming. Thoughts were coming in the mind, and
Sure.
it was totally disturbing that time. Suppose some pending works or some things to do this, that was coming frequently in the mind. So what is the reason for that?
So, and it means that is work incomplete. So, welcome to life. This is so when we're talking about mindfulness, and this is one of the myths that come up with mindfulness, is that there should be an absence of thoughts, or thoughts are distracting. It's rather the opposite. Mindfulness is all about befriending your thoughts and emotions as they come up. So you're doing a practice and there's a chatter which has come. Oh, you know what, 9 o'clock, I need to make a call. I hope this ends on time. And that could be a chatter that comes up. So noticing that, and instead of getting caught up in, noticing what's happening next or going on to the next set of chatter, just noticing, okay, here, maybe there's a chatter here. If there is some meditation that comes along with that chatter, things are not isolated. They come with multiple things. There's a chatter and there's an emotion that comes up. Ye kaam baki hai, and then there is this sense of anger that's coming up. So noticing that as well. So what you're doing here is, instead of getting caught up in the usual commentary, you're distancing yourself. Yeah. And these are the moments for you to really be mindful. If there are no distractions, that's good, right? We don't have to be practicing mindfulness. But the good news is there will be thoughts, there will be distractions, there will be that irritation that comes in, there will be some pleasantness that just yanks you away, pulls you away. Even when you notice, I'm trying to keep my attention on my breath, on my shoulders, and I'm going into this chatter, that is a moment of being mindful. So what you're accessing, Shambhu, is a very powerful space. Noticing that I want my attention to be here, but it is getting pulled. What do I want to do there? Do I want it to remain there? Or can I gently bring it back to where I want it to be? This window that you get is a mindful window. And you can use that to your advantage. Yeah. So it is in the midst of all the thoughts, commentaries, and emotions is where mindfulness is happening. Let's utilize that. Does that help, Shambhuji?
Yes, sir, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, Mr. Majumdar, we come to you.
Hi, Sathya. So, good morning and thank you.
Good morning.
It was lovely. So, couple of understanding I'm just trying to reinforce with you. What I got to understand from the practice, as well as I'm practicing last 2 to 3 months with Arthro, that we touched upon the bodily sensations in terms of the sensory clarity or observation. Right? The second level is the mind in terms of the chatter or clutter of thoughts that are coming in into the mind. The third level is the soul part, where the emotions are to be dealt with, right? We call it whatever we can call it, subconscious, or the emotions. How do we relate it to what part of our system, right? So my question is in terms of the, let us say, when we talk in our Hindu sense of things, right? I mean, in the spiritual sense of things, there is a concept of Atman, right? Where it's an all-pervading kind of a layer where you are trying to merge with the entire system of thoughts and processes, and you look from that stage into yourself, right? So is my understanding correct? Is there any semblance with the mindful practice in terms of the layers that I talked about and the way you are the practice is designed? And will we achieve that stage? I mean, how? See, I could see clearly that I have matured a bit over the last 2 or 3 months in terms of isolating myself from the various chatters that happen, right? But it's very, very, very difficult, right? I possessively hold on to them as if they are mine, right? And I means that, right? I define myself, right? Detaching myself from that requires rigorous practice, right? So I just wanted your comments on this. Right.
Firstly, Mr. Majumdar, that's a very beautiful summary of your experience that you shared. And so again, kudos to you for acknowledging yourself for maturing on this path and knowing that I'm making some progress. I'm sure you're noticing certain changes in yourself.
Right.
So let me try and address a much deeper aspect of what you touched upon. And let me start by saying that, can mindfulness help in establishing a deeper spiritual connection? The answer is definitely yes. Is there some semblance to our ancient traditions, a Hindu way of looking at life? And the answer is definitely yes. Because what is called as mindfulness as a practice goes back almost 2,500 or beyond years ago. And these are practices which have been shared by the Buddha, right? And for a lack of any other word, when the Western audience got access to this technology, they called it mindfulness. Yeah, this is referred to in the Pali language as sati. That's a practice that Buddha defines it as. In simple words, it's about me being able to direct my attention to where I want, rather than my attention having its own journey. Okay. And why is so much of importance on attention? We also call it as awareness, attention awareness. Is that this is the one thing that differentiates us from other species around. The attention is a superpower ability that we have. There are times when we have achieved the impossible just because we were able to focus our attention on what we want. So that's the power of awareness, that's the power of attention. Coming to the spiritual side of your conversation here. There is always a sense of a solid self that we have. Yeah, so this is me, the perimeters of my body define who I am, and then there is the universe which is separate from me. Yeah. What spirituality does for me is that it helps an individual transcend this identity of the limited self. Yeah, all you said, I don't want to let go of things, right? The moment I realize that even this self is not rigid, there is no such thing as the self. It's all sensory experience which is constantly changing. It's only an illusion of something permanent that I'm calling as the I. There is no such thing. I am one with the universe. Yeah. This in the Hindu modality is referred to as Advaita Non-Duality, right? That is, and it's not called as two, it's called as non-dual.
Non-dual.
Yeah. And that it's very interesting why it's called as non-dual, not one. Even realizing that there is a non-duality is actually touching somewhere very deep within yourself. You're transcending what is called as the physical layer. You're going deep into, touching the soul, right? And it's the same energy that permeates through all of us there. Yeah. So when you're getting in touch with this space of what you call as Atma, or you call it as soul, what you're actually talking about is an awareness which is present all across. There is no my awareness here. It's an awareness which is there. And all of us are operating in this field of awareness. And being mindful can really help us do that, because everything is happening through the sense experiences. It is this sense experience which is giving me an impression of I am hearing this sound. I am feeling this chair. I am feeling this floor beneath me. But it's an invitation to really ask, who is actually feeling this? Who is actually hearing this? Who actually sees? That is the observer. That's a much deeper inquiry, and I'll just open it up, because that's going to take time by itself. So it's a much deeper inquiry that I'm leaving you with. Maybe I'm not completing an answer, and that's really because I can't complete it right now.
I got the cue. Thank you. So we can carry on. Thank you very much, Sathya.
Sathya, just a small query. I mean, maybe you can just sum it up. The connection between Advaitabad and mindfulness.
Yeah. So, Shivajit, in the last few lines of what I said, I kind of touched upon it. So it's a mode of self-inquiry, right? Advaita is realizing that, everything is one. There is an apparition of the separate self, and there is me. So as you're doing, maybe right now you're feeling the floor beneath you. So the question is, who is feeling that? And you may say, I am feeling it. The question is, how do you know that you are feeling? Right? So Advaita is an inquiry of really getting much deeper within yourself. So what we have touched upon is just one layer. Beneath that layer is the inquiry of non-duality. How do you know that you are talking to me? How do you know that you are listening to me? Who hears? And that's a very powerful space of inquiry that one can get into. Okay, so a summary for you, like you asked.
Thank you. Wonderful.
Okay, great. Okay, so let me take this opportunity to share something that Partha mentioned, and it's about the masterclass. And I'm really happy to be bringing this up for all of you Mind Vantage members. Partha, can I share screen? You'll need to enable that, please. Okay.
Check, Sathya. Check.
Yeah. Now it's good. Okay. So, what is the masterclass on mindfulness all about? Next couple of slides to help you deal with that. So, I have some questions for all of you friends. And I want you to make a mental note of it. Which areas of your life are you currently struggling with? Is it dealing with distractions? Is it improving physical wellness, cultivating habits that are productive? Is it eating mindfully or dealing with anxiety? Which of these areas are you currently struggling with? Just make a note for yourself. Okay. Second question coming up. Which of these areas do you think is impacting your overall well-being? The answer could be the same, it could be something different. Is anxiety impacting your overall well-being? Is it impacting your productivity? Is it your habits that is impacting your overall well-being? What is it according to you? Moving on to the third and final question. Name any one area which, if left unattended, will cause some concern, will cause some amount of regret for you in the future. From among these 5 options which are there. Anxiety, wellness, could be an answer that you've covered already, could be an answer that's new. Just notice if something's coming up repeatedly as a response to all 3 or at least more than one. Anyone wants to quickly share? What is it that's coming up for you? Let's hear someone who's...
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Momita, please.
Okay. Which areas of your life are you currently struggling with is improving physical wellness? And overall well-being, which of these areas do you think is impacting your overall well-being is lack of physical activities? I think I should do more exercise.
Okay.
And name one area which is left unattended, will cause you regret in future is same. Concentrating on my physical well-being.
Get that. Thank you for sharing that with awareness. Chandrasekhar, please go ahead. See, you raise your hand.
Yes. So for the first question, which areas of your life are you currently struggling with? For me, it is improving physical wellness. Which of these areas do you think is impacting your overall well-being? I think I need to cultivate more productive habits. Or rather give up some of the old habits. That's more important, I think. Name one area which is left, if left unattended, will cause you regret in the future. Again, I think it is improving my physical wellness.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for sharing that with awareness. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so Shambhuji, I'm seeing your hand is raised, but I would want to move on now. So if any of these or many of these are what's coming up as a concern area for you, then here's an answer. Okay, and gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the 5-day mindfulness masterclass, which I'll be hosting. So 5 days where we touch upon these 5 dimensions. Each day we deal with a different topic. So day 1, it's dealing with distractions. Day 2, we talk about physical wellness. Day 3 is cultivating productive habits. Day 4 is mindful eating. And day 5 is dealing with anxiety. And each of these days, we're going to talk about how can I be mindful? How can I make use of this tool called mindfulness and apply it to these specific areas? And how do I make the most of it? So this is what will be covered in the mindfulness masterclass. The dates of the masterclass are from 20th to 24th September. And yes, the time is 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Right. So if these are areas that you want to work on, you will need to first be serious about it, and which is why the time of 6:30 a.m. Right? That's a resolve that you start your day with, saying this is an area I want to work on. I want to create some new habits. I want to be, physically fit. So the time is in the morning. And all of this is for an investment of just rupees 499. So 499, 5 days, 5 dimensions, the ones you're seeing on your screen. Each day we're going to talk about and take up one specific topic and go into the depth of it with a mindfulness approach. Right? So we will be doing a guidance during each session, which is more relevant, more customized for that particular topic dimension that we're dealing with. Does that sound interesting? Yes? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes,
Absolutely,
definitely.
Sathya. This is very, very interesting. And I think this is not only interesting, this will be of interest to us who are
Absolutely.
practicing mindfulness.
Absolutely.
Satyaji, just would like to get one clarification from you. Do you have these master classes on a regular basis?
Yes, yes, Shekharji, I do that once a month usually.
Okay, because I just saw the dates and I suddenly realized that it is exactly between those days that I'm traveling.
Okay.
And means just for information, I'm coming to Calcutta for this during this period.
Sir, same problem is with me also. For whole week I am traveling and
So
trying.
if so, Satyaji, if we know a little in advance, we can sort of plan things around so that we get to attend this master class.
Done. Done. Okay. So this is a virtual session, and I'll keep that in mind, Shekharji. So these sessions will keep happening every month, and we can connect, and I'll share the information with Partho as well. He can put it up on MindVantage.
Yeah, that would be great.
Great.
Thank you.
So I have one question.
Sure, Mr. Chandra, go ahead.
Yeah, I was asking that, I mean, is this session going to be a kind of an interactive workshop where individuals are can resolve their problems, or is it about a kind of understanding the concept and going back and doing things?
Yeah. So there will be a forum for interaction, but
Mhm.
given the number of participants, there will be a DIY also, if I may call it, do it yourself way also, which so you can go back and try out the experiment or tool and report back the next day saying this happened, this is something that worked, this is where I'm facing a challenge, right?
Okay.
But will the work need to be done by the participant? Yes, of course, the work needs to be done by you.
Okay.
Yeah. So there is interaction, but given the audience size, getting into one-on-one resolving, that is something that becomes a challenge there.
Right. Understand. So how do we enroll?
Sure, that's the next part of what I'm sharing. How do you enroll?
How do we enroll?
Yeah, so there's a link
Okay.
which I'll be sharing in the chat box here, and I'll also share it with Partho. So you can, Partho, if you can later on
So
share.
those who are interested, I'll be sharing the link in the group today, or it will be there. I mean, I will be regularly sharing it. So you can register yourself and pay this amount in the Google Pay number, which is being shared over there, which is Sathya's.
Yeah, and that's my number. In case you still want to connect with me post this, you may do so. That's also the number for Google Pay.
Sathya, any other alternative mode of payment?
Yes. What would you?
Shivajit, I will speak to you.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Partho, for your help there. Okay, so I'm stopping share here, and give me a moment while I just put up the link. Okay, so the link is in your chat box, and in case you're enrolling, we'll be happy to see you and interact with you there. Before we close, Partho, thank you so much for having me over. Thank you so much to each and every one of you for taking time out and being here. It means a lot.
Thank you so much, Sathya. One of the ideas, or I should say the vision that MindVantage carries, is not to confine itself only to the group contributors, but to go beyond that. In fact, I have been requesting the mindfulness practitioners, yoga practitioners, storytellers, psychologists, clinical psychologists to come over and share their thoughts and let us know more about how we can keep ourselves better and well. And this is an endeavor which will continue. So friends, all of you who are aware that we have this Sunday morning session, we also have the Thursday evening session and the daily morning sessions. Very, very happy to share that we have at least 6 of us who are practicing it daily morning, and we have been immensely benefited out of it. As Sathya said, yes, the timing is from 8:30 to 8:50, and for some it has been difficult to join at that point of time. I would suggest that you should, if possible, then please join for at least 2 days in a week to carry it forward. It is not only learning or understanding what mindfulness is, but also applying mindfulness in your daily life. It is not doing mindfulness, it is being mindful. That is what is very, very important. In the Thursday evening sessions, we cover other topics, and as you know, we have covered the peak performance state alphabet code practice. We have covered drama triangle, and I'm very, very happy to share that in this month itself, in one of these Thursdays, we would be also as a trail of the drama triangle, we would be covering transactional analysis, and it would be done by Meghna Gupta, one of our new members. So Sathya, Sunil, Shekhar, those who are coaches, it's a request to you, use this platform, because this platform is not about confining ourselves to the learning that we get every day, but to get flavors, different flavors every week, every moment. That is what is very, very important. And I would also want you to know that there would be a lot of new activities that we would be doing for your being more mindful. However, one very, very important aspect which Sathya touched upon is DIY, do it yourself. I can vouch, or rather Devashish, Shubhajit, Kakuli madam, right, me, Shekhar, we can vouch that it has given us immense benefit. It has given us immense benefit. And more than that, I think a bonding between the practitioners that builds up, which is also very important. So Sathya, thank you very much. And thank you everyone. And have a very, very nice weekend. Let today be the happiest day in your life.
Thank you,
Our lives.
Thank you very much.
We meet again tomorrow at 8:30 for our daily mindfulness practice.
Thank you, Partho. Thanks, Sathya. Thanks to all.
Thank you, everyone, and especially to Satyaji for taking the time and enlightening us.
Pleasure is mine, Shekhar. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful.
Thank you so much.